Welcome back, welcome back. Y'all know who I am. I'm assuming you can read if you made it this far. We're gonna rapid fire some more of these Oxygen Not Included Let's Plays. I really enjoy this game, and I can't wait to play more of it. So we're gonna go right back into it here. So I'm gonna start back off. So what I'm worried about is oxygen generation is one of them. One of them got hypothermia again, probably from being wet the whole time, but yeah. Suck. I got a farm going, which is good. I'm gonna need to generate some more power here if I want to keep more things powered. I also have to take into account that I'm gonna start throwing up some polluted dirt and some polluted water real quick. So I need to also get a couple of contained pools going as well. So I think that'll be our next thing, actually. Our next build order is to get a contained dirty water pool. Okay, so we'll just I'm gonna eventually remove all of this, so I'm just gonna put one big old dig border on all of this, and they will get to it as they get to it. So pop that there, pop that there. I need to make sure that if they fall down, they can get back up. Put this ladder all the way down here. And then we're gonna need a dirty water room. So I think I'm gonna place it above here. Yeah, I'll put it right here. That's a good enough spot. So I'm gonna put it above here. And I can dig a little farther down. So we'll pop that right there. And then I will tell them to start constructing some tiles. I'm not entirely sure how big I want it. I feel like that's huge, to be honest, but it matches like the size of the rooms too, which is good. We don't want water that's not supposed to be there flooding into places it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? So we'll make it right there. All right, cool. And then I have to put a ladder so they can get down to the other side as well. So put that there. And then these mesh tiles are nice. They don't obstruct liquid or gas flow, so oxygen can flow through them and water can flow through them. And that's important because of reasons. You know, I can build these platforms all along the way, and even with the bottle left, I don't need to leave a hole. You know what I mean? If I leave a hole, then stuff that, like I said, stuff that can get through, I don't necessarily want to get through, can get through. So go ahead and yeah, we'll just go straight along here. That's fine. One of the things I do want, believe it or not, we're actually going to use polluted water, so I do want some pitcher pumps. Actually, sorry, we're going to cancel those build orders. I do want, I want ape. Well, I mean, it depends on how far that goes. Alright, so that's not nearly far enough, but that's fine. I do want some pitcher pumps, just so we can access 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just so we can access that polluted water. And I have to build two because if water's all the way up here, they're not going to be using this bottom one, right? But if water gets all the way down here, it's below where the pitcher pump is, and I still have half the pool to access. So that's why I kind of need two. And then I definitely want some bottle emptiers as well, which I think I'll actually just pop right there. Alright, cool. Copy this tile, and then I'm going to want the rest of the pool with that tile. Cool. Alright, so that's going pretty well. I accidentally opened up this portion. Whatever. It is what it is. I actually, because I opened it up, I probably do not want to move that. Although that sand block is about to break from the pressure of the water, so I'm probably going to have to deal with that anyways. Now let's set the priority on that one block to 7. So I get that built sooner than later. No, and it's all their break time. That's good. That's good. Alright, so that water's still kind of flowing down, but I do want to just be done with it. So we're going to mop that up. We're going to get that getting away, and see what else we got to tackle next. Alright, so these guys are growing, which is good. We want them to grow. We need that food supply. I'm actually a little ahead of the game, but you can see in our reports here that camera's right over it. Well, yeah, deal with it for now. You can see in our reports right here that how much calories are consumed. I am not generating any calories, but I'm consuming about 3K a cycle. I do have a ton available, but as far as the nutrient bars themselves go, I only have 4K. I got about another day's left of food there. So I do want to start getting things rolling here. And there's a lot going on. I got to be careful that I don't overdo it. You know what I mean? So polluted water's not on this list yet, and that's because I haven't really discovered polluted water yet, right? I haven't had the need. Once this yellow little bar fills up on this washroom, polluted water. And then, which case I can assign, okay, I only want polluted water. So good. One thing they're not going to get to is all of that right there. So I'm actually going to cancel the builder on that. And then build a ladder so they can reach either side. That'll work out. I don't need this. Boom. Well, they're not going to get that one either, so I need to build a ladder so they can get up and reach that last rock. Otherwise, everything else should be done. Good to go. Still not producing enough oxygen, but I have so much of it, I should say. You can see like over 1,700 grams right in this room. I'm not really going to run out anytime too soon. I just got to make sure I keep it in mind, right? As for this room, I'm thinking of converting it into a power room. So I'll make this into a power supply room. This room will be completely independent. It'll be on its own clock, I think. Make this into a power room so I can supply lighting and any pumps I'm going to need for my water supplies here. And we'll go from there. Alright, don't need this ladder anymore. I got another printable. And I have one bed left. So let's see who is going to make the cut. Cooking is good. We're going to need cooking next. So I think I'm actually... But he said narcoleptic, and this one farts. So I'm gonna veto these two, right? I don't want someone who's gonna fall asleep in the middle of using the stove. That could be worst case scenario. And I'm gonna have so much natural gas building up over the time from Ruby that we are not gonna deal with that. So I'm gonna frame. And let's see, what should we focus on next? I got those tiles. I want the next ones. These airflow tiles, awesome. They block liquid, so if my base gets flooded for whatever reason, they'll help keep it out of rooms. But they don't block gas, which is good for oxygen. Not so good for all the other gases that aren't breathable by dupes, but good for oxygen. So I definitely want to do those next. And then as we continue, I will start building the base. I have a rock here, bleach stone. I have a bleach stone that's emitting, chlorine. It's emitting chlorine. I do not want that in my air right now, especially inside my base. So to store that until I do need it, I'm going to need some storage. I like to build the storage in the middle because it's accessible from both sides, which is the name of the game. You don't want your dupes to spend all day just getting from one side of the base to the other if you don't need them to, you know what I mean? So we are gonna put, I want to make this the power room. So we'll put the storage right down here. And once I get a room situated for the water, I'll end up deconstructing that. But it's not that big a deal right now, so do that. We're just gonna build a massive amount of them. And we'll go from there. That way we can store all these materials laying around, stuff like that. Clean up the base, tidy it up overall. There is a decor overlay, and you can see like the bright red spots, terrible decor. It's like have an effect on morale. That could hurt your dupe's productivity. Anything with a light or something like that, that will add decor, right? So the machinery, bad for decor. All this mess on the ground, bad for decor, right? So we want to try and keep that high. We can mine this out now that the water is gone. And what I'm going to do is actually build just one tile there. That way I can keep building down without flooding. Creating another pool I gotta worry about, so I'm gonna do that. And then I gotta think, this is a lot of water, which is really good. We want a lot of water, but this is like a lot to handle, right? That's what she's saying. But, so I'm thinking, we're gonna favor this side a little bit. That's pretty deep already. So I'm gonna have to build a pump. If I want all the water to be where it's supposed to be, I'm gonna have to just build a pump. Which is fine. I find it to be a little more tedious. I also like my things to be, you know, nice and orderly, but that's kind of the name of this game, right? So I'm gonna build some ladders so they can get down to the bottom, and then I need to take into account that they can only dig 4 tiles high. So I'll have to make sure that they're able to skip across and continue digging, so all of this gets emptied. Right, so boom, 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 boom. I suck, dude, I suck. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, that works. That works. And then I'll just have to pump the rest out. No big deal. Alright, so that pump room is ready. Still haven't discovered polluted liquid, which is good. I also have to worry about polluted dirt. Which I'll actually probably add to this room. Look at that, beautiful. Alright. So polluted dirt, basically I can turn it into, let's see. Let's find out exactly. I forgot. Reduces polluted dirt and other compostables down to into dirt, which is good. We need dirt for our farm, right? We need to make sure it's irrigated and all that other stuff. So I like to pop a couple of them in there. I don't think I've ever needed more than 4. And then I put a couple storage bins, and what I keep in those storage bins are the compostables, the stuff that are going to give off polluted gas. I'll keep those in the room with them. Instead of trying to store it in my normal base, just so that this polluted gas doesn't like leak out and like kill the rest of my base's oxygen, and now everyone's sick because, which is less than ideal. So we got that going, cool. We are on track right now. In fact, they're getting stuff done faster than I can, almost faster than I can afford it. We're going to put all except for seeds are going to have their own storage bin in the farms. I want to be careful not to store polluted dirt so it doesn't spread germs and oxygen. We gotta keep it clean. Filtration, hopefully that's fine. Yeah, actually, I don't. If it's cultivatable, I want it to be in the farm as well. Critter eggs. I also do not want to store critter eggs. I want to store that in the kitchen, which we'll get to. Bleach stones, I think are going to be fine. I don't think they radiate chlorine while they're in storage. And then agriculture, don't really need that in its own storage bin either. Our coffee settings, spread it across all of them. We are good to go there. I'm going to move forward with making, oops, a generator room. Oh my gosh, I suck. Let's check it. Alright, so we'll get that going, and then we'll put a couple of batteries. Now, here's another thing you have to juggle, right? You can't overload these wires. So one of the things that I have to be wary of is this will produce 400 watts, okay? This will store up to 8,000 joules of work. You have to make sure that if you have, these are going to consume 180 watts altogether. So you got to make sure that everything that's being powered isn't more than what can be supplied. And then the wire itself, this wire in particular, that type of wire could only transport up to, I think, 1,000 watts. So if I'm trying to supply, even if I have enough generators, right, whether they be manual, coal, hydrogen, whatever generators, even if I have enough generators to meet the demand, if I'm trying to transport more than 1,000 watts of electricity, I'm still going to be in trouble. So there's a lot to manage. So I got those done. I know I'm going to power some lights, so I'm just going to leave a little connection there. I know I'm going to power some pump rooms. I'm going to leave a connection there. Exposed wiring decreases morale, so I'll put them behind the floors and the walls and things like that. And then I also like to section off this room just for the hell of it. I do want to put some airflow tiles now rather than later. Especially when they're running on these hamster wheels, like it's gonna decrease electricity pretty quick. So I do want that to spread out. And you can see already polluted oxygen is making it into the air because of these composts. So next thing I want to do is put a door at least on one side, and then we need to rush this order so that my stuff isn't getting schmacked. Alright. Cool. One thing I neglected to do was put these flow tiles, which I don't want to do yet, actually, because I need to take into consideration these pitch pumps. May have built that too close. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. It'll buff. Alright, so things are going pretty well overall. These are like the wildlife. These are some of the wildlife. And they tell you, like, if you can, how old they are, how wild they still are, how much health they have. The chances of eggs coming from them, say hatchling eggs, I don't think I've ever seen them. It tells you what they eat and stuff like that. And then you can also like capture and start farming these guys. So these, for example, this one, these types, they'll eat literally anything, which is fine. And then they'll crap out coal, which is valuable because you can use coal to generate power. So if you had a huge farm of these guys, you could essentially power most of your base. It uses a lot of coal, so I mean the amount of hatchlings you would have to power a super mega sized base at that point would be pretty unreal. But that's alright. So that's all getting done. Cool. You actually might want to be careful about assigning this here. Do we? We do, yes. And you'll see why here in a second. I got to make sure if this is, these pitcher pumps are tall, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. The 5th you can stand on. Good. So I want to build this 5 up, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to build the first one right here. Which means the second one has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over this one. I can't build ladders over the pipelines here, so I have to take that into consideration when I build these pumps. So that'll mean I'll want to build from the lower left up to the upper right. Or else things start looking a lot wonkier and I start wasting a lot of resources. Okay, so what do we got? I don't really need any of this. I need a +3 in cooking, ideally. However, Ellie here has a lot of positive traits. Nothing I really could use. She's just kind of an all-arounder, really. I guess her strength would be pretty high, but I already have someone doing tidying errands, which is mainly what the strength is for, is tidying and organizing stuff, which is good. It's just totally good. I love having dupes that do that, but I don't really need anything with science. It's good that there's an increased decor morale bonus, but I don't need any of that right now. I'm not gonna get to ranching anytime soon. I got a farmer, and then again, it's all +1s here too, just kind of all arounders. So I'm just gonna go with rust. Go with a resource or rust, and then we'll keep it at that. I still only have 5 dupes. I got chance for, or I have room for 1 more, which is good. We'll get that all squared away as we go. I am going to All the water that's in there is going to be the water that's in there. And I'm going to open this up just so I have a place for more of this water to sit. And eventually pump into this pool room once I... How are you... That is insane. That is skillful is what it is. So you see, they're suffocating, right? They're just not the smartest creatures. Eating underwater in the pool, that's fine. But that's what makes this game so frustrating, is that you're not only are you micromanaging all these different variables, all these different resources, oxygen, gas pressure, you know, water, electricity, all that other stuff, but you have to micromanage the dupes themselves because they will strand themselves constantly. We are getting to the point where we can start assigning priorities. I typically, whoever's got pink, right, that symbolizes that they're specializing a bit in it. I'll usually put my diggers as attackers as well. I rarely attack the animals, but sometimes it is necessary. Like I don't want him eating up all my copper ore, that hatchling earlier. Even though coal is valuable, so is copper ore, so I might, you know, kill him off or something like that. So, but I set the priorities here, and this is what they will do primarily. So Jean will focus on researching. If I have a project that needs researching, Jean's on it ASAP. If she's not, then she'll do anything else, unless I assign another priority in some other area, right? And I can just go through the list here. So I want her to focus on farming. Don't really care about operating, but I am going to put that up. If she's done farming, I want her to go and start powering my machines, right? Which it'll tell you, yeah, I'll tell you right here. So they do space missions. They generate power, which is huge. They tinker, that's also good. Operational supplies. So they keep things like my oxygen machines, they keep those going, which is awesome, which is good. Depressurize. I actually haven't read all of these. Power supply, fabrication supply. So having a lot of operating dupes, I found in my past experiences, is pretty ideal for our base. At least for me. I have a lot of manual power generators up until I get closer to the latter part of the game. But again, I think I've only broken through into space once, and that was like right before my base just went up in literal flames. So I can't really tell you much about what's on the other side. Alright, so now we got everyone doing the things I need them to do. So we can get rid of these ladders now and start building those pumps. Let's get this too. Let's disable this as well. In fact, let's just deconstruct it, because it's just going to dump water outside of the pool, which is not what I need now. And then I know these are one block up, but I actually am going to want to get rid of that last block. These are 1, 2, 3 tall, so I'm going to need at least 3 from where the room starts, which I have now, which is good. I need these pools done with though, so let's get those up to 9. Priority 9. I need them done and I need them now. And I don't need this random tile up here either. And once I build the floor here, I'll be able to reach these dig sites, finish that, deconstruct this, and get a move on. Alright, so each of these tiles have their own little resources. You got coal here, copper ore, which kind of gleams as you shift around the map, which is good. Algae we use for producing oxygen. I don't know, something about chemistry, something. This is above my pay grade. Ooh, I also need to add storage bins. Yeah, I need to add storage bins for dirt and seeds. What do I got here? What is that? Looks like an egg. Probably a shiny bug egg. It's good. Shiny bugs are cool. I like them a lot. The only time they're a nuisance is when they're in the bedroom. The dupes won't be able to sleep if you have lights on in the bedroom, which is just goes to show you like how pinpoint this game is. I do know, okay, so I do have another project. I do want to make a farm. So these are all mealwood, which is a good starting crop, but you really can't do a whole lot with mealwood plants, right? They make what is it? Meal lice, which is like a bug, pretty much. You're eating bugs, so to speak. Yeah, they don't make the best meals, But until you get farther in, and I just realized I did the same thing again. So we're actually going to want to get rid of it. Until you get farther in, but yeah, until then, you're kind of dealt the hand that you got. So, oops. And we're making this one deep because I do need those farm tiles in, and it just aesthetically it looks a lot better that way. So pop that there, pop that there. Get rid of these as well. I'm gonna hold off on that until they get these last 2 blocks, or else they won't be able to reach them. And then I gotta make sure to supply power to them, which I think I'm gonna do with overhead lights instead of desk lights. That all should reach. And we'll want to, yeah, here we go. We'll want some ceiling lights. So you see how it's kind of a pyramid effect, right? So what I want to look at is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles to deal with, right? So if I put one right here, I have 1, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll have it about 5 tiles out from where the light is placed. Right, let's cancel that before they actually go and do it. So I want to put it 1, 2, well, let's start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles away. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, can't count. 5, 2, 3. Let's overlap it a little bit. Yeah, that'll be fine. Cool. Then I will also want to put these wires and connect them. Perfect. And then once they're done building all of that, I'll dig these out. Otherwise, I'd have to put ladders up and all this other stuff I really do not want to deal with. So we'll put seeds in that one. And then we want anything that's cultivatable, we'll want down there. And we'll put, if we ever find any fertilizer, we'll want to put it there too. So, alright, we are getting going. So I've discovered polluted water because at some point somewhere I've ran into it, right? So now I'm going to say, alright, this bottle emptier, you're putting polluted water in there, that's all you're dumping in there. It's going to dump it into our pool here, and then any other polluted water I might run into as I dig, I'm going to pump into this pool as well. Eventually we'll use that polluted water for agriculture. Certain plants need polluted water, or if I have something that needs to run off of water, but it doesn't have to be clean water, I'll feed it the polluted water instead. And not have to deal with having to use up my freshwater supply, which will constantly be dipped into for everything, really, and things like that. And I've made it to the point once, I think it was actually my last game, where I was able to actually create more fresh water through other means, like using other resources and stuff like that. But that was a long time into the game, so I have to be very careful on what I ration this water on. Like having this big of a farm for 5 duplicates right now is way overkill. It's extreme overkill. But I can stockpile the food for when I have too many duplicates to feed. Or if, I run into some sort of emergency, I can at least stockpile the food. So that is the idea there. Did I get that? Yes, I did get that generating room going, which is good, because the next thing I need to build is our kitchen, so I can actually start cooking with the food that I have been producing so far. So I'm going to build that up. I'm going to build these ladders up so that they can dig out and put the ceiling in. And then we're going to want to go to food. I make a couple of these micro mushers because they can generate some decent food, right? And then I throw in 2 grills as well. And what I do want to do, actually, is I want to stagger these. Grills, I think, I've noticed that around grills, oxygen just kind of disappears. So what I want to make sure to do is actually put them on opposite ends of the room so I can at least get a little more oxygen dispersal, right? And I'll put a cracker in the middle and then let's see, ooh, nope, there it is. And then a ration box, which will store cooking ingredients. And I'll pop some doors on there just for Aesthetic. Aesthetic, that's what. So we'll put, for now we'll just put everything in there because I haven't researched how to, I haven't researched fridges yet, so we'll put everything in. I do want to get rid of this ration box now. Want to just move all the food up there. Cool. Let's go ahead and set it up so these all get powered. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. So once these get built, unreachable build. Damn, okay. I was hoping to avoid that, but that's alright. So I'll put some ladders, I'll stagger some ladders, and then they'll be able to build those wires up there. I could get rid of the ladders at that point, get rid of the floor, and then build the rest of this part of the farm. Which is good. Well, actually, I can start laying it down right now if I wanted to. So I'll actually put boom, boom, boom. I am going to need some ladders to get to the upper level, which would actually be right there. And then my upper level will have a bunch of the farm tiles. So I can actually just replace all of this with farm tiles. Oops. No, actually I cannot, because then I'll be blocking light. So we'll get rid of these. And I can't block light, unfortunately. These plants are going to need the light sources to grow, and they cook better food, so I'm going to need those going. And I don't know why I only have one eater in the volume there, but this is all coming together nicely. So across from the kitchen, I'm going to build a dining hall as well. It's more for morale. And I just like treating my dudes right, so we're going to put all of that there. And then start making our dining hall, which is basically just a bunch of mess tables. I put about 12, so it'll house about 2 barracks is what they're formally called. Which is a good number to be at. Alright, so now it's asking me, alright, what can they cook at these stations? For eggs, I just put everything. I've never gotten to the point where I could unlock like husbandry. Start taking care of animals. I've never gotten to that point. So I'm just gonna tell them, you know what, let's cook everything. Let's cook everything. I do not like mush bars. They don't help quality. They use up a ton of water, which, well, it's not an awful lot, but they use up a lot. I don't mind Lyslos. They use up less water, and they're a product of the mealwood plants. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't provide any morale, but it doesn't take away from any morale, so I'll put that on. If I ever get to the point where I can make tofu, then, do that too. And then I'll just copy these settings over to the next one. Oops, should probably actually do it right. Copy, boom. And then same with grill. Omelets, yes. Anytime we can make an omelet, let's make it. Yes. Barbecue, yes. Pickled meal, no. And then fried mushroom as well, although I've never ended up frying mushrooms either. Copy settings, paste, done. Alright, that will be about it. I'm going to need them to finish that. You don't need those, except for that ladder. And that'll be it for this episode. I enjoyed this game. I hope y'all enjoyed it with me, and I'll see you in the next one.